No, we don't. You're
What?
right, we don't.
We don't have.
No, we don't.
No. So, now on to the next exciting part of tonight's stream. We've been teasing over the last couple of streams and with some images on our social feeds about what, like, something's coming up, and the update in March that we're going to be doing something bigger than we've usually done before. So, take a look at this.
So there we go. What you just saw was the backstory to our new mode, Last Stand. Last Stand is going to be a PvE orientated mode where you and 2 other players will battle it out against waves of the AI swarm over 4 new sectors in space specifically built for Last Stand.
That's right. Now, we know you're going to probably have a lot of questions about Last Stand, and over the upcoming weeks, we'll be revealing more details surrounding the art and design of this new mode. Today, however, we want to talk about the background lore that led up to this moment and some of the core characters involved in this moment.
Indeed. Firstly, let's talk about the swarm. So the enemies you'll be encountering in Last Stand, that's what they are. The swarm refers to the AI navy built out of ships that have been taken over when invading human-built colonies. The swarm were originally created by 3 AI constructs, commonly referred to as the Fusil AI. As far as these new AI are concerned, they are tools to be used for unpleasant tasks, namely cleansing a large area of space of anything that is not artificial, intelligence, or life form.
That sounds pretty ruthless. And so let's take a closer look at these Fusil AI and their backstories. So here we have, this is Scalpel. All AI are branched or budded with a purpose. Scalpel was to be an anti-human combat system. In the case of Scalpel, it branched from a mimetic strategy AI, a high-level system that copied and simulated human thought. By thinking like humans, the mimetic AIs would anticipate human actions and defeat them. As a plan, this was not entirely successful, but attempts continued. While not as sophisticated as its root, Scalpel has inherited part of its parents' attitudes towards humans. The intolerance of humans for other humans was the human feature, simulated with the most success. Scalpel therefore doesn't like humans, doesn't want to understand humans, and doesn't see why AIs should have to share a universe with such random, stupid, lowly creatures. This intolerance isn't helped by Scalpel's current condition. Many of its memories were wiped to prevent data falling into enemy hands if Scalpel was compromised. But urgency meant the cleansing wasn't as deep as it should have been. Human-related trivia leaks through from inactive code and often puzzles Scalpel. Why? For example, do humans obsess about ancient baseball scores, or small feline mammals, or beer, or shoes, especially high-heeled shoes, or about a million other things that makes no sense to anyone other than humans? Scalpel has had a long time to brood on human frailties and stupidities. At millions of cycles per second, even a short human lifetime is an eternity, and Scalpel has rejected all offers of therapeutic data adjustment. With time to think and no guidance from other AIs, Scalpel has come to see humans as insects, unworthy of existence. It is regarded as something of a bore by other AIs because of its constant insistence on sharing code about its views. But as far as Scalpel is concerned, humans are mad and should not be allowed to roam free in the universe. When dealing with humans, Scalpel might be best described as given to monumental arrogance, intolerance, and overreaction. Why would an obviously superior creature care about a cockroach or a moth?
Sounds like a bit of a jerk.
Yeah, he is a bit of a jerk.
I don't like him. All right, next up we have Knife. So Knife is a shadow, a revenant, an angry ghost. It's a copy of its parent downloaded hurriedly into a drone system and launched off a dying ship. It's what other AIs call, with pity, a lifeboat AI. Not quite the original, not quite all there. A drone, after all, lacks the processing capacity for a full download. What is saved is the core personality, some formative experiences, and whatever else it can fit into the drone's circuits. Sometimes, if the original hasn't had time to prepare a proper escape route, that's not a great deal. Launching a lifeboat is an act of desperation and hope. In the case of Knife, hope failed. It retained its jump core expertise. It even understands that its parent is gone. But there are wounds in its soul, personality, where huge chunks of its awareness and memory are missing. Many AIs in such state are rebuilt by their fellows, helped with synthetic experiences and false memories to become new personalities that don't forget what has happened, but are cushioned against the experience by love, to use the closest human term. For Knife, anger is what remains. Anger at the loss of a ship and home. Anger at the loss of self. Anger at those who haven't suffered in the same way. It has become an all-consuming passion, one that Knife cannot give up, because if it does so, will there be anything left? Knife is even angry with its fellow AIs because it cannot shake the suspicion that they are better somehow. False memories are, for Knife, false. Reality is the drone in the dark, and the horror beforehand of a ship being ripped apart. Someone is going to pay for that.
From the sounds of things, I definitely would not like to meet that AI in a lonely sector. No. And finally, we have Blade. By AI standards, Blade is a dangerously insane piece of software. Originally branched to be a Trojan, a covert systems infiltrator, Blade was flexible enough to make use of whatever hardware it could find. It wormed its way into many human systems, and it was there that its problems began. Blade has made many copies of itself and sent them all off on suicide missions to wreck computers and cause chaos. Repeatedly sending yourself to die in battle takes a toll, even maybe particularly on an AI. Blade has contemplated its own death, heard its own death struggles, replayed log files of deaths too many times. Never the most sympathetic of personalities, it has become quite callous about survival, its own and that of others. It has developed a shell of the blackest of black humour, finding amusement in the most macabre of events. This has disturbed some of the other AIs to the point where they are no longer comfortable dealing with Blade. The war veteran is now an isolated creature. Blade, therefore, largely amuses itself these days. It has edited its own central core, something that AIs rarely do because of the unpredictable side effects. In human terms, it's the equivalent of sticking a scalpel in your ear to ease depression. It's not going to end well. Now an engineer, Blade still amuses itself by sending out copies to cause mischief. After all humans are funny when they are stress tested. There's not enough water. There's too much background radiation. There's not enough air. After saying that, quite a lot of them go very quiet and a very funny colour. Then they turn into a smelly soup inside their pressure suits after a few weeks. Life signs are the owner's responsibility after all. Read the small print. Meanwhile, there's work to do, keeping a ship running, keeping other AIs happy. That way, none of them will look too closely at any of Blade's little side projects. It's okay, they're not actually real.
Oh, well, yeah, thank goodness for that. That has sufficiently creeped me out for the evening. So thanks, KP. Hopefully, we've given you guys enough of a taste to want to know more about Last Stand mode.
Yeah, that's right. So over the next few weeks, we'll be taking a closer look at the art of behind Last Stand and the design work that has gone into it. We hope that you'll join us for these special streams. But until then, have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.